you was ready to start. You know me,
I know you all about business.
I thought you were starting. I apologize.
That's quite all right. I know that you're on the mark. Hey, teamwork makes the dream work.
Mayor Williams said that no, I'm sorry. That's the wrong message. Sorry. She's in Macon. She's trying to get on.
She needs to dial fast. We don't want to hold Mr. Crafter up from Wagon Train. You muted, Mr. Crafter. We can't hear you.
Saying nothing.
Got to catch Wagon Train.
I ain't saying nothing.
Oh, all right. Your mouth was moving.
That means you're lying.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, we are recording. I'm recording to my computer. However, the live Facebook feed won't load. What I'll have to do is just upload it afterwards. I'll keep working on it in the background. But at this point, we're not live streaming to Facebook, but we are recording.
Okay, has the mayor made it in yet? I can't see it.
No, sir, she hadn't.
No.
All right, if it please the other commissioners, if y'all agree, we'll go ahead and bring this meeting to a start. And the mayor come in when she gets capabilities. Ms. Crafter,
I agree.
You agree, Ms. Crafter?
Hey, you the man. You the chair. It was advertised. All us know.
All right, here we go. Right? You're absolutely right, but I want to make sure we have a general consensus of what's going on. Good afternoon. This is October 14th, call meeting for our new commissioners briefing. I want to thank everybody, the commissioners that are here, the A team. Thank y'all for putting this together to bring our new commissioners up to speed. And some of us that have been here get more enlightened on what's going on. At this time, we'd like to go ahead and get started with our briefing. And Ms. Martha, if you will be the one to facilitate, we'll bow down and let it happen.
All right, and I'm gonna share my screen, so y'all bear with me if I share the wrong screen. But we put together a presentation, and typically when we have new commissioners come on board, typically it's in January. We do an annual retreat in February, and that's typically when we do pretty much what we're gonna do today. So we were pretty much familiar with the process. I'm gonna share the screen, and in the front of the notebooks that you all received, I think it had an outline that'll pretty much show you all the order that we're gonna go in. So I need to know, are you all seeing the slide that says new commissioners briefing, electric department?
No, it says questions now, Martha. I think that's the end of it.
Okay, let's try this again. I know you see the wrong screen again now, don't you?
Okay. That's it.
That's what happens when you have more than one screen.
Well, while you're doing that, I feel that we should give our Lord and Savior some support here. Is there any way we can just all repeat the Lord's Prayer together, Chairman?
We could amend, if you'd like to say a few words, it would be in place
Okay, while she's,
while we're working on that.
while we're working on that, I just wanted to say that, dear Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for our coming together. And we ask that you let this meeting be the best ever. Dear Heavenly Father, we'd like to just say in unison the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
Man. What about now? What do y'all see?
New commissioners briefing.
That looks right, Martha.
All right. Okay. All right, Baker.
All right, I'll go to the next slide, I guess. So starting off with electric, kind of a brief overview. Overall, our electric, I think you went too far right there.
How did go ahead? I'm sorry.
Overall, our electric infrastructure is in fair condition. Of course, with an aging system, there are some areas that need attention. The number one priority is the three-phase line that feeds from Station 1 out Highway 96. This project has been approved in the capital budget this year. Upgrading these lines will allow us to provide a better service for Peach County High School, along with the existing customers in that area. And then there's also just multiple streets that need to be reconductored. With that being said, with talking about that project, that line is in good shape right now, but with the load that will come on with the high school, that's why it needs to be upgraded to be able to take on that load, that extra load.
Mr. Baker, I got a question. The 9 on 96, that's 96 east towards Warner Robins, correct?
That's correct. Yes, sir. And that project would actually start right there at Evans Farm and go out towards Fullwood Road. So the current projects we've got right now, Peach County High School, we're building the infrastructure on the high school property, and we have contractors doing that work that's coming down the MEAG right away from Fullwood Road all the way to the high school or to Highway 49. That total cost, estimated cost is $440,000. Valley High Apartments, we have actually just completed that. I think we're just waiting on meters to go in there. Highway 96 East Reconductor, which is the one that I just mentioned in the beginning. That's estimated cost is $213,836. And those are current projects that we've got going on. For future projects, Fleetwood Drive underground reconductor. This is a project to replace the underground cable and transformers. We would have a contractor install the conduit and then we would install the cable and the transformers. Estimated cost for that is $35,454. Ventura Trailer Park reconductor. That would replace the underground power at Ventura Trailer Park. That infrastructure that's in the ground there is, old. It's over 20 years past its life expectancy. Upgrading those lines would, of course, provide a more stable service for those customers. Estimated cost is $154,400. Phase 1 reconductor substation number 1. This is to install 4,500 foot of underground primary cables for 2 of the 4 circuits in substation 1. The original cable had a life expectancy of 25 years. It is now over 55 years, coming up on 60 years old. Replacing this cable would ensure our system reliability. That cost would be around $133,100. Reconductoring College Street to Knoxville Street. This will reconduct the remaining 5,000 feet and replace the remaining 49 poles and hardware from College Street to Knoxville Street. This is part of the circuit that serves our public service facilities like the fire station, city hall, the courthouse, and 911 center. It's a pretty vital area. That'd be $423,500. The next, there you go. These streets are, I won't go through all these prices, but these are all streets that, just have aging lines and need to be reconductored. So you see there's a good amount there. And that breaks down the cost by street. The next one, the price on that reconductor for load switching, that I made a mistake there. That's actually $88,000. But what that is, it kind of goes hand in hand with the next line there, system coordination. It allows us to, switch load from one circuit to another, so we can isolate areas that we can work on to, to help keep from having a whole circuit out instead of, give us an option to just have a street out or whatever that case may be. That kind of does it for project or proposed projects. So maintenance, tree trimming is key to having a stable system. We try to keep tree trimmers in as much as possible. Most municipalities hire contractors 12 months out of the year to keep up with the trees in the lines. We're not able to do that, but we do our best with that. We do regular street light audits and make repairs as needed. All the street lights and security lights that are not repairable are changed out to LEDs, and then any new installs are all LED lights. And then of course we're making repairs to, as we get calls, repair and replace hardware as needed. That includes transformers, switches, lightning arresters, poles, things like that. So that takes care of power. Any questions on that?
Yeah. How much of this work is going to be done in-house, and how much of this work is going to be contracted, and why?
Can you repeat that one more time?
How much of this work is going to be contracted out, and how much is going to be done with our own staff?
So for the existing project, the current projects we're in right now, like for the high school, we're doing part of that project. Everything on the high school property we're doing. The line that's feeding from Fullwood Road over to the new sewer lift station, that's being contracted out.
Baker,
Valley High Apartments, we did all of
Baker.
that work. I'm sorry.
Baker, excuse me, I was just gonna maybe try to help with Mr. Crafts' question. So when you all do projects, do you all, how do you determine what you're gonna contract out versus what we're gonna do in-house?
Most
I don't
of
know
it
if
will be the amount of work that it's gonna take and the time, if we have the time to do it, you know, as opposed to the, you know, the cost, whatever that's basically weigh those components.
What does it take for you to have the time to do it?
It just depends on the workload at the time, you know, like I said, maintenance, you know, that's every day. We're getting calls, we're getting, you know, we're repairing things all the time, tree trimming, street lights, you know, all of that. So if it's a project that we can handle without, you know, taking us away from our day-to-day workload, then we take care of it. But otherwise, we will get a cost for contracting out.
Has any kind of feasibility study been done to show the feasibility of using contract labor over hiring your own staff to do the work?
Has any kind of feasibility study been done?
Right.
Not that I'm aware of, you know, just in-house and what we, you know, how we determine it.
So we looked at like for the year or 2 years out and said, based on the projects we got coming up, it's gonna cost us $100,000 if we contract it out versus if we hire employees, looking at that cost. I think that's what he's trying to say. Have we ever just looked at the cost of contracting work out versus the cost of hiring employees and keeping them on staff with the benefits and always having people available to do those projects? And I don't know if that's something when you all do budget, do y'all look at resource allocating the employees out? Is it better to go and hire some more linemen, have them on standby to be able to do those jobs, or?
I don't believe so, because those projects, they don't last forever. So
I understand that. I understand that. I still ask that a feasibility study be done to show the economics of that. See what I'm saying? Because a decision has to be made whether it is more economically feasible to continue the contract or to hire local laborers for one reason. We got a $24-25 million budget. And for a town that's economically strapped as Fort Valley, it appears that we should be looking for any way possible that we can circulate as much of the money that we spend in this local economy. There are some forces associated with that, forces associated with what you do. Before we move forward, we continue the contract. I think we need to look at the numbers to say if it's going to cost us $5,000 or $50,000 more, we got to make a decision as it relates to whether that $50,000 is worth spending, and with the possibility of it being circulated in this economy, or just saving the $50,000. You know what I'm saying? This thing is bigger than just saving money. It's, what we're looking at is really saving this town. So I think Ms. McAfee, as soon as possible, well, I'm not going to say that. Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir. I'm watching. I'm listening.
I think that scheduling a feasibility study to ascertain this in both this department and the water department is something that we need to do, and at least have the information before us as we make those decisions. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. I understand that. That's
right,
part of the
so-
business course. Yeah.
So at whatever time you see fit to deal with that, then I think that's something that need to be discussed by the commission And with that, I'm through.
I
Well, I
understand,
have
Ms.
a
Craft.
question. I'm sorry. He mentioned that after he said we had tree trimming contractors, and then he went back and, Mr. Baker, you said that it depends upon what we contract out and what we have time to do. Now, I know we have a bucket, 2 bucket trucks. That tree trimming shouldn't be, it shouldn't, to me, this is my opinion. I feel that tree trimming is something that we can do locally. Why should we have to have contractors to come in and do this?
Well, if you, next time you're out, if you don't mind, if you'll ride around and take a look at these trees and these lines, these power lines, they're always growing. This is a.
I agree. Before I got sick, before I got COVID, I looked all around and I saw lots and lots of work that needs to be done.
Yes,
But
ma'am.
at the same token, we should be able to do this in some shape, form, or fashion ourselves.
And I guess that goes back to what Mr. Crafter just asked. He asked feasibility studies.
The
be done.
study, of
See
course.
what we can be done,
yes.
what can be done in-house. And if
Right,
and
right,
if it's more feasible to hire a tree cutting group or in-house versus contracting it out, I guess that's something we can put on the agenda. So we'll add that.
Right.
That's what Mr.
Yes,
Crafter
sir.
was asking, basically.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, Ms. Martha. I know we got the 18, put that together. And as we spending 50,000 or whatever, we figure it out if we can keep them on, because trees don't stop growing. They keep coming back. We
Understand
figure
that.
out how to do it. The man hours, we got man hours and all put in for, let's get this study together so we can keep functioning and we can keep our town looking great and we can keep on surviving.
Oh, let me say this. I'm going to defer all action items to the chairman for scheduling at either whatever form, it'd be a call meeting or the regular work session. But for this purpose here, these are just things that we see as we are briefed on what's going on. What I said for that one applies to the gas department and everything else. You know what I'm saying? So to expedite time, if there's a question, I'm gonna ask. If I have a question, I'm gonna ask it. And if it's something that needs to be done, then I'll defer to the chairman to schedule that action in whatever way he sees fit, whether it's in a work session or a regular meeting or a call meeting. You understand? So to facilitate it, because I want to see all the hard work the A team has put together before 5 o'clock.
Yeah, wagon train. I agree.
And you
with
see, I moved it to the next slide. We're
right.
taking notes and we're moving on.
All right, let me address Mr. Crafter. Mr.
Know
Crafter,
about the pads.
understand this, Mr. Crafter. We're not just talking about trimming trees. We're talking about the entire commission. We want to know gas, everything.
Right.
So when we do a feasibility study, we're doing it for the whole space
every-
shuttle. We're not just doing it for the 40 mule team, 20 mule team. We're
For
doing it for the
everything.
whole space shuttle. Thank you, Mr. Crafter. Ms. Martha.
Go ahead, Baker.
Okay, moving on to gas. Integrity of our gas system, it's pretty solid. There, of course, there's room for updates in some areas. We're always monitoring our system through various maintenance activities to assure we are giving the best service to our customers. For example, through our DIMP program, DIMP is Distribution Integrity Management Plan. We have identified an area that is prone to corrosion leaks. We have a plan to replace the gas main on each street. We are scheduled to replace 1 street a year. This area includes Westview Drive, which has already been completed. We plan to start Park Avenue by the end of 2020. Then those will be followed up by Shamley Drive, Forest Drive, Hardeman Avenue, and Valley View Drive. Another issue we're facing is capacity. Currently, we're nearly maxed out on how much gas we can provide to Fort Valley. What this means is if we get another large industry with a large gas load, we'll need to make some pretty costly upgrades to be able to fulfill those requests. So current gas projects, Peach County High School, we're installing the service to the new Peach County High School. We're doing that ourselves. We're having a contractor build the meter set and the regulator station. That's welding. We don't have welders in-house or the equipment. Estimated cost for that is $22,400. Park Avenue gas main replacements, that's part of that DEMP program that I mentioned before. This is $196,174. Highway 80 East, we budgeted to have a contractor replace the steel gas main with a new poly gas service new poly gas main and services. There's an area of that pipe that's been problematic over the years with corrosion leaks, and we've basically patched it to where it's time to replace it. That cost is $72,215. Proposed projects. These top two projects, they gotta go hand in hand with that capacity issue that I was talking about. Closing the loop from regulator station at New Way to Pure Flavor. This project would give us a complete loop of pipe coming off the high pressure main from New Way to the pipe that feeds up Highway 49 through Powersville, down Houses Mill Road and Highway 96 to Pure Flavor. Doing this would give us roughly another 100 MCF an hour and would allow us to supply another industry in that area. Anything over that 100 is where the next project comes into play. It's be a new tap and paralleling the existing line from Culloden. This project would give us a new tap in Culloden and would install an 8-inch steel gas main parallel to the existing 6-inch from the tap site to Fort Valley. With our current system, we are unable to take on a new gas load more than 100 MCF. Therefore, we will not be able to support the requirements of economic development projects in the future. If we install this infrastructure, it will more than double the capacity of our current system. Estimated cost for that would be $9.9 million. And that could be done in phases. That would not have to be all done at one time. Each time you extend that parallel line, you would gain some more capacity by the time we got to Fort Valley. Place regulator at a regulator station at Callaway Drive. Current station is a mix of welded and threaded fittings. Threaded fittings are a potential leak source. An updated station will give us an underground valve that will allow us to control the gas if the station is ever hit or compromised in any way, as well as a regulated bypass. Currently, it has a straight through bypass, which means a man has to stand there that entire time and watch that pressure as that gas goes through there if we ever have to put that station on bypass.
Question.
Sorry?
Question.
Okay.
As you go through these projects, if you could, give me some idea of how much is contracted and how much has been done in-house. All right.
Okay. Any welding, I can tell you that any welding is going to be contracted right now. We don't have welders and we don't have the equipment. So anything that causes welding, so that paralleling that tap, the main from the tap site or closing the loop, that's all steel pipe. So that's all welding. So that'd be 100% contracted.
Okay. Here again, the feasibility. And not to belong a thing. See, most of the infrastructure in this town is up to 60 and some 70 years old. And it appears that we need to put together a comprehensive plan to replace all of this, as opposed to a 7-year plan. You know what I'm saying? To replace this infrastructure all over town with, instead of piecemealing it, increasing capacity citywide. You understand what I'm saying? In other words, if we replace all of the infrastructure, the clay pipes and all the outdated materials and whatnot, and accomplish the increase for larger capacity at the same time, and make that a citywide project, a system-wide project, and then we'll be better able, I think, to see how we can facilitate doing that, as opposed to, as I say, I'm first to say that I don't think that we can do everything that's associated with these jobs. There are going to be some things that we cannot do. We're going to have to take a serious look at creating the medium through which we can do a lot of this stuff in-house. If we talk about a 10, 20-year project, then it might be a feasible item to have a welding department. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever you need in sewage, electric, or whatever. So, and at the same time, hell, it might be feasible to have our own in-house engineering. So, man, we got a university here. We got college students that major in engineering. And if we had a Fort Valley engineering department, there are a lot of things that need to be researched. But as I say, as you go along with this, you give an idea of what percentage of this is contracted and what is done in-house. And I'm through with that. Go proceed.
Place regulator station on Callaway Drive, that would be 100% contractors. Instrumentation for hourly reads and data for Bluebird meters, that would be us. But that material is $24,200. Chamley Drive, gas main and service replacement. That's part of that DIMP program. That would be 100% contracted. Instrumentation for Southern Flavor Farms for hourly reads and data, that's the same thing. That's the cost of that material. We would put that in. Replace meters and reconfigure Bluebird meter set, that would be 100% contracted. That's $51,000. What that would do, and needs to happen, is get Bluebird's meter. It's pretty complex meter in a very tight area on Bluebird's property. We don't have quick access to get there, and if in an emergency situation. Moving on, Forest Drive, again, part of the DIMP plan. That'd be 100% contracted, $205,000. Replace Harris Drive regulator station, that'd be 100% contracted, be $22,385. Instrumentation for hourly reads and data for Aircraft and Atlanta Sand Pit. Again, that's that we would put that in, but that would be material would be $18,150. Hardeman Avenue gas main replacement. That's from the DIMP plan that I mentioned earlier. That'd be 100% contracted, $214,000. Replace rectifier ground bed on Wolfhart Road. We would do that. That material would cost the $14,000. Valley View Drive gas main and service replacement. And that's back to the DIMP plan again.
Yes, I see everybody. And here.
100% contracted, $209,000.
Zach, you the man. Thank you.
Peggy Drive regulator station, install an underground valve. That would be 100% contracted. That's installing a valve to control that regulator station in case it was ever hit. We'd have an underground valve that we could have access to. Maintenance for gas department. We do a business district leak survey every year. 5-year leak survey. We do that. We actually cover that in 3 years. We do schools and hospitals twice a year. We do a leak survey on those. Atmospheric corrosion, along with that 5-year leak survey that we do every 3 years, we cover atmospheric corrosion. We grease and rotate our critical valves annually. That assures that they're going to work if there's ever an emergency situation, we need them. Cathodic protection, we have a portion of our system assessed each year to make sure our cathodic protection is working properly. We record rectifier readings monthly to assure that there are no problems. And then our odorant, we get odorant readings every month. We get 10 odorant readings from 10 separate locations. And that's to make sure that we're putting that odorant in there. It's a warning agent. That's what you smell when you have a gas leak. You smell that odorant. So that covers gas. Any questions on that?
Here again. It was a day in Fort Valley when all this stuff that I see being contractors was done by our in-house staff. That might not be enough work to facilitate one crew cutting the grass or one crew cutting the trees, but there can be some multitask positions that can handle several of these things. You know what I'm saying? The bottom line, as I say, in my concern is to circulate as much of the money that we spend in utilities back into the local economy instead of watching it leave this town every Friday at 5 points. So here again, Mr. Chairman, we talk about future projects and some maybe something that's ongoing. We need to take a serious look at this thing to see if it is more feasible for us to do it in-house as opposed to continuing the contract, because as I said, the biggest dollars I see on these projects are contract dollars, and we getting the nickels and dimes left. We need to change that. And with that, I'm through. Go ahead.
One thing I'd
Mr.
like
Crafton,
to,
let me go ahead and address this. Mr. Crafton, we stated earlier we're going to do a feasibility study. Now, from feasibility study, from where I understand it, on this spaceship we got here, it goes from how it operates, what it costs, contractor, in-house, and what we have and what we're going to do. Those items you mentioned would be a part of a plan to address if the A-team is allowed to get to that point.
Okay.
Go ahead,
All
Mr.
right.
Becker.
one thing I'd like to mention is a lot of these are specialized, jobs. They're just somebody off the street can't do this stuff. There's a lot of training that goes behind it.
I understand that. But as I say, this is a university town, and we have people who can Carter and Sloop came out of Tribble and Richardson, and they are consultants now. So we got people who we can hire from other agencies to run this thing for us, probably at a cheaper rate. So I'm saying, look at it. And I yield back to the A-team to continue this because time is wasted.
So moving on to telecom. The telecom system was built for the Utility Commission's in-house network. It supports our SCADA system for the water plants and sewer lift stations, as well as the Utility Commission's internet. We picked up residential customers along our main line as we have built the system. However, the fiber system was not built. The intentions of building that system was not built for serving the city of Fort Valley or the Peach County residents. Having the system mapped would enable us to better serve the customers. Currently, we are unable to make a fully informed decision without updated mapping. This makes it increasingly difficult to track down the outage issues, which also increase the time it takes to find these issues. One thing I'd like to mention also with that is, just like with power or gas, we purchase our bandwidth. You know, we purchase our gas, we purchase our electric. Same thing with telecom, we have to purchase our bandwidth. And right now we're at 500 megabytes a second. Well, that capacity is pretty much spoken for. So we don't have the capacity to, you know, bring on too many more customers. Just want to put that out there. Everybody knows that. So the current projects, Peach County High School, estimated cost $55,000. We're installing everything we're installing that fiber from that entire run. The only thing the contractors are doing are installing a conduit through the MEAG right away. Another current project is relocate the wireless access point at Plain Living. That project is almost done. We've done that completely in-house. Estimated cost is $10,150. Proposed projects, relocate wireless access point at Pecan Landing. We will do that 100% in-house, other than we'll have to get a power service from Flint, because that's their territory. Estimated cost $10,150. Relocate the nodes at Highway 96 Fire Station, Byron EMS, and Willow Lake Road. Those are estimated cost $10,000 per location. We'll do those all in-house. With that, all those locations, they house our nodes inside of their facilities, so we're pulling off their power. So with this, we will, be able to stand alone and have our own power go into these and not have to count on them for power. Mapping and system analysis. So this goes back to where I started at. We've been in touch with an engineering company named Burns McDonnell to have them analyze our system, and along with that, that would be them mapping our system, putting it on a GIS mapping system, and basically telling us, where we can go, how far we can grow, or where we can grow, or if we can grow. That estimated cost is $156,000. That, they tell me that can be broke up into phases. I'd like to do that into 3 phases if possible. Moving on, replace fiber for the original ring in phases. That first phase would be replacing the fiber from the Commission to the McLean plant. We would do that in-house. That'd be $15,000. Replace McLean plant to Jones plant, $20,000. Jones plant to the Commission, $20,000. Replacing the fiber between Houses Mill and Brock Road, estimated $85,000. That is a contracted cost, and that would be that fiber works now, but every time you splice a fiber, you lose, your quality of your transmission through there. So that would kind of clean that area up, is what that would do. And then expansion of fiber loop to include Lantern plant. That's a contracted cost. That would expand the loop and help give redundancy in this area. Maintenance, we do tree trimming. The IT department is always monitoring our network, and we respond to any trouble calls that come in. And that's all. Any questions on that?
Yeah. does the fiber optics or telecom project pay for itself?
No, sir.
Huh?
No, sir.
Okay. Are we at our allotted fiber capacity, or do we have extra fiber?
Are you speaking of bandwidth? What are you talking about?
Well, bandwidth, whatever.
Yes, we're at our capacity for bandwidth. Yes, sir.
So we can't sell any fiber to prospective business owner.
We can, but we can't guarantee quality service.
Okay. All right. Well. I think that's something we talk about after this. We'll talk about this after this.
Can I ask a question pertaining to that too? And I apologize for being running in so late, but if I told you what we had to go through for me to get here, you wouldn't believe me. But since we are running the fiber on out to Peach County High to the new school, with that fiber going past residences that have not been annexed into the city, if they would like to hook on for to that fiber in order to get fast speed internet, could that happen? Or are you saying that the capacity is already loaded? And anything else like you're talking about out the Southwest Peak with the changing of the fire station and all of those places, those places that's going to be annexed into the city, if they don't have fast speed internet, could they get it? Or are we overloaded and that can't happen?
Yes, I would say we're overloaded. So kind of the way that works is you're not always going to have everyone using that data at the same time. So it's not always going to knock out that 500 megabytes, but the more you add on, the better chance you have of slowing someone else down, if that makes sense.
I got you.
We talked about Housing Mill Road and all this stuff. And from my understanding, it's calculated on a per hookup basis. Do we have enough bandwidth to run the fiber in such a manner that if other customers decide to come on, we won't have to go back and run it again? You understand what I'm saying? In other words, as opposed to just case by case, future expansion in that area need to be taken under consideration, and whatever it takes to get the fiber in those areas that are subject to development. It's something. I think it's something we need to look at, and again, check the feasibility as it relates to whether or not it's something that we can do.
Yes, sir. Again, that goes back to that the engineers I told you we had spoke to, Burns McDonnell. That's the process that we've started to try to figure that out.
I got a question. What's our IT man name?
I'm sorry?
Huh?
By the way, Mr. Crafter, you need to give him some kudos because he's the one that got me on. This was utterly impossible.
What's his name?
I just told him he the man.
It's Zach
What's
Gow.
Zach.
Zach.
Well, let's get clear. We got IT, then we have telecom. It's technically two different things.
Hey,
so.
like I said, I understand that. Can Zach hear me?
Yes, sir, I can.
How much of this process, Mr. Zach,
Man, he got me
are
on.
you involved with?
The IT department normally handles the back end, the servers and stuff, but we do assist Jason with some of the telecom field work.
So you are involved in the planning process for all this?
Some of it.
All right. Well, some of it we need to discuss what that sum of it is. We'll get back. Thank you.
Sure.
Clay, you ready to move on to the water and the wastewater? Is Clay still on? You know, I'm sharing my screen, so I can't see.
Did not see him on. I don't think he is.
No, Clay doesn't appear to be on right now.
Mr. Clay not on?
No, sir.
Okay. This ain't no touch screen.
All right, Mr. Crafty, while we have this little time, I think, and I hear and I've written down your questions and your concerns. When we do our feasibility studies pertaining to this, the space shuttle we got over here called the Utilities Commission, all those things will be put in place of how we can best work and keep people employed. And if we need to figure out how to bring more people in locally to do a lot of work, those things are part of a normal overview of trying to figure out how do we do that. And I think that will be included and be wise to put in a feasibility study. Mr. Clay, has Mr. Clay made it back?
I was getting ready to say, I just called him. He's having some technical difficulties with his internet. So Ms. Kathy, if you could, can we just skip down to yours and then
Policy.
when Clay gets back on, then we'll go back up to water, wastewater.
All
Absolutely.
right, thank you.
Good afternoon, commissioners.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So first I'll start with the AMI project for advanced metering infrastructure. We're currently beginning phase 3. Phase 1 was approved in fiscal year 18. We did 100 non-disconnect meters and 100 disconnect meters. In phase 2, we added some polyphase meters and some additional licensing to pick up water and gas ERTs, and also electrical ERTs. That was approved in fiscal year 20. And for this current fiscal year, it was approved to do full deployment. So that's going to be 1,500 disconnect meters and the additional hardware to run the entire system. And there's a backlog on meters, so that will probably happen around February. If we order them now, we'll get them around February.
Excuse me, who's talking?
This is Kathy.
Okay.
Any questions on that project? Okay, the USDA project update. I think Clay will cover the construction part of this project to give you an update. I'm giving you an update on the financial side. So the total project was originally, the USDA grant was $1,848,000. The USDA bond, $2,387,000. Since this project began in 2011, there's been multiple rebids, and through the 9 years, of course, construction costs increased. So it's currently over budget $738,000, which will be covered by the Utility Commission reserves. The next steps in the funding for this project is bond validation, which is set for October 16th. At that time, we will come back to the commission after the validation to approve an interest rate. After the validation, they can hold the pre-construction meeting and then construction can begin. The next one is the JIFA timeline. The JIFA loans are going to be used to fund the high school project. In January, we requested 2.5 million for wastewater, 200,000 for water. In March, we were notified that we were eligible for principal forgiveness. Wastewater principal forgiveness is 1.1 million. Water principal forgiveness is 100,000. In August of 2020, we received notification that we were approved by JIFA for the loan, and we're working on the execution of those loan documents. Should be done in the next couple of weeks. I will say that with these two loans, once they're executed, we will have to pay a loan origination fee. For the 2.5 million, it'll be a $25,000 payment. And for the 200,000, it'll be a $2,000 payment. Any question on those?
That's over a span of how many years?
Both loans are 20 years. 1.94% interest rate.
Okay, thank you.
All right. The next thing is our financial management policy. Everybody should have that in your packet. The financial policy was approved by the commission in 2017. Since then, it has been updated. If you ever want to see what's updated, the very last page in the financial policy will tell you the updates. And the commissioners put this together to establish it to ensure that the utility commission is using its resources efficiently, effectively, and that the accounting best practices are used. And this is given to everybody. It's posted on our employee portal because it guides the managers on requisitions and purchasing. And I didn't plan to go through the whole thing. If you want to read it and get back with me any questions, I'll be glad to answer any questions. Or if you've had time to review it, do you have any questions? No? Okay. So the next item is the financial report. And this particular report, I believe I was referencing on Monday, it's completed every month and it's presented to the commissioners at the work session. I've been doing that for the last 5 years. It's in the financial policy that this report has to be completed, and it's also required as part of our audit. So I'll go through the report now, just like I would at a work session. Did everybody receive a copy? All right, so the cover page, one thing I note is that it's an unaudited financial report because this has not been reviewed from our auditors. That comes in by the CAFR, which I want to make sure that everybody receive a copy of the CAFR. Mr. Horton did, Mr. Crafter, did you?
Go ahead. If it was in the package, I got it.
Okay. And Ms. Rosemary, did you receive your CAFR? Great, great. Okay. And also, at any point, it's on our website. You go under the financial section. I'm not sure how many years, but it's probably 5 or 6 years are on our website that you can access. So on page 1, and also note that this particular report is for 11 months of the fiscal year. Our fiscal year runs October 1st through September 30th. This particular one is for August 31st, 2020. So page 1 is our balance sheet. Or since we're an enterprise fund, it's statement of net position. And saying that, sir?
Is that on the slide?
No, sir, it's in your packet.
So you don't have a slide on that?
No, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
The Utility Commission is an enterprise fund in that it's self-supporting. It sells goods and services to the public for a fee. And being an enterprise fund, we are a fully accrued accounting system. So what it basically tells you is our assets, our liabilities, and our financial position. And would you like me to go through each of these items or?
No. The question was, what is the physical financial condition of the Folk Valley Utilities Commission? We have X number of dollars in this particular location.
Okay, so that is in a later slide. But I think part of knowing the fiscal condition of the utility commission is just like you addressed on Monday, knowing how we've used the funds in the current budget year.
Now, go ahead.
That's what this report shows. But your statement of net position shows you your financial position as of August 31st. So if the commission were to shut down on August 31st, 2020, these are your assets, your liabilities, and your fund position. All
Is
right.
that on the slide?
I'm sorry?
Is that on the slide?
No, it's in your package.
It's on page 1 in your packet.
All right.
And this is the same report that you will be getting monthly, that I've been presenting monthly for the last 5 years. So page 2 is the revenue and expense report.
Is that the document that is headed Municipal Competitiveness Trust?
No, sir. Martha, did you header it? What's it called? All financials, maybe?
Yeah, I think, Mr. Crafter, if you looked in the notebooks that they delivered, behind each tab, it'll have, it has it labeled what those documents are. And I mean, they were kind of thick, so we didn't put all of the document, and hard to see too on a slide. That's why we kind of gave it to you all.
Right.
If you look in that notebook behind each one of those tabs, all the stuff that she's going on, you'll have the actual printed report in your note, in that notebook. And each behind those tabs, it has each one of these documents that she's talking about.
All right. For time purposes, just give the numbers as of the date that you mentioned.
Okay, so I'll skip over this monthly report then, and if you ever have any questions on it, just let me know. All right. So do you want me to skip over debt funding also?
Yeah. What is the physical financial condition? I haven't heard that. We have X number of dollars. We owe X number of dollars, and we got a balance of what?
It was on the balance sheet.
I'm asking you on this briefing.
Okay, the fund balance for unrestricted is $7,708.976. That is not the cash in the bank, because not all of our assets are cash. If you would like to know the cash in the bank, it's on the beginning of the balance statement of net position. It's under current assets, cash and cash equivalents, which is $5,551,200.
To save a lot of time, that is not adequate as it relates to what I asked for, and until we get an adequate accounting, what I'm saying, I want to see how much money we have total, everything.
Yes, sir. That's under your current assets.
How much we owe, and what's the balance? That's everything. I want to look through no books from that, and I want to see we got A, we owe B, and C is left. That's all I want to see. Understand? With that, we fail this part and go to the next one.
All right. The next one is the Utility Commission debt funding. So this is a summary. It's also in your package. It's a summary of our current debt. And I referenced on your sheet, CAFR page 25. So if you want to see more information about these particular loans, they're in the CAFR. They start on page 25. I've also listed the origination date of the loan amount. You'll see also the interest rate, the balance, and the maturity dates. I'll point out that the top two are set to mature this year, or this fiscal year, in February of 21.
How much is that?
How much is left?
No, what's going to mature? What's going to mature and what you talk? Debt funding. Are you talking about bonds? Are you talking about bank accounts? Or you
This
talking
is
about?
money we owe. This is money we owe. These are loans.
All right. Well, like I said, all of this will be covered in the three items that I said earlier. A, how much we owe. B, how much money we have, how much we owe, and C, how much left is left. You know what I'm saying?
I understand, but
Those three items will encompass all of this somewhere in those numbers. We'll deal with that as it comes up.
Mr. Chairman, would you like me
That's
to
all you have, you can move
explain
on.
in the sheet in the package?
If that's all you have, you can move on.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Ms. Johnson.
would you like me to continue to explain the sheet in your packet or move on?
Wait a minute. This is a request that I made. You understand? And what I'm telling you is I appreciate the time and the work that you put into this, but it does not meet the request as it relates to what I asked. So let's move on, because I ain't got time to be going through stuff that will be covered on the other things that I asked for. Is that all right? And I have no disrespect for the chairman on this, Ms. Kathy, but don't disrespect me. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not, I'm just.
But I'm sorry.
Chairman.
You
I'm sorry.
disrespected me when you asked the chairman. I asked for this.
I think what Kathy has done, I think she gave y'all more information than what you wanted. If you just wanted what we owe, what, you know, in one simple statement, then, you know, we can go back and do that. I think what she was trying, I think what she was, I'm sorry.
Statement listing the physical financial condition of the Fort Valley Utilities Commission. That's not Greek.
But it's not Greek, but it's also when you start talking about, I know you mentioned a $25 million organization. A lot of times it's not as simple as writing down what you owe and what you got. You know, the way accounting is done for an enterprise fund sometimes is a little bit more in depth. So for her to give a full view of the financial condition of the commission, it's a lot of parts go into that. But if you just want a simple,
understand that. And if there is a problem identified in what I asked for, then we will ask for the clarification of those things at that time. The overall briefing right now is basic stuff. You know, and I think the operations managers did an excellent job on what they were talking about, on what we asked for. You understand? If you don't mind, move on.
Ms. Kraft, Miss Martha, and Ms. Johnson's behalf, I think that she's done it from an accounting point of view. And I think that may have been, you know, a little bit of whatever, but Miss Kathy, we'll have to get together and
Right.
you know, put it on sticker note 1, 2, 3 and make it plain and simple, and
Right.
simplify it a little further. So we
Right.
can, so it'll be easy for to be understood. Miss Martha, thank you so much. Let's move on to the next one, Miss Kathy. Thank you so much.
All right, so this one is a list of our financial institutions. We currently use Synovus, BB&T, Georgia Community Bank, and we have investments in the MEAG portfolio. In your handout, you have a list of every account, how the account is listed in our software system, and the balance as of 8/31/2020.
Question.
Yes,
What about the Wells Fargo accounts?
we don't have any Wells Fargo accounts.
Wells Fargo accounts are listed in the MEAG documents.
It's listed as part of MEAG's portfolio. That is
Nope.
not our accounts.
Wait a minute now. So this municipal trust documents that you gave me, that's not ours, that's MEAG's.
The first page of the statements are ours. The remaining pages show the MEAG's portfolio, which is not our money. That's just showing how their whole portfolio is invested.
Well,
Oh, we,
in the next setting, whatever it is, I like somebody from MEAG to explain that to us, because see, in February of 2018, Mr. Dagan, I think, what is his name? What is his name, man? The guy from MEAG?
Pete Degnan.
Pete Dagan told us that we had over $800 million invested in the municipal trust. And that was 3 cities, Albany, Fort Valley, and Fitzgerald. That trust has since closed. And Albany has gotten their share. I don't know what Fort Valley share was. You know what I'm saying?
So you're looking for the credits.
Huh?
You're asking about the MEAG credits, which is different than the action.
No, that's different. MEAG credits is something else.
Okay, so just Mr. Craft, I know you said something about getting out of here pretty quick. So you want us to get somebody from MEAG to come and explain to you all the whole trust fund and MCT process and the balance?
Right.
Okay.
Right. And as it relates to the credits, we were told that the money was pledged in credits to help on the utility bills. My calculation of what I saw in the last monthly statement was that could get up to a minimum of $500,000 a year. What we need to see is how much of those credits have accumulated forever. You know what I'm saying? So somewhere there's a number to say we have $5 in credit, or we have $5 million in credit. I want to see what that number is and where it is, and how, if possible, the commission can access that.
Okay,
Does that make any sense?
Yes, let me try to explain. We don't have any credits with MEAG. There was an account established when there was a threat of deregulation. The cities came together, put up money to offset the cost of power in that event. Deregulation didn't happen, so they began giving the credits back to the utilities. And what they did is reduce the monthly bill. So those credits went onto the monthly bill for MEAG, reducing the operating costs because it reduced our MEAG bill each month. Those credits were exhausted on January 31st, 2019. And I provided that statement in your packet to show you, and on the screen shows you the account it was in as of January 31st, those credits were zero.
Here again, there's too much. There's too much looseness in what I'm hearing.
We got you, Mr. Crafter. We'll get MEAG to explain it to you all directly.
Go ahead.
We'll get MEAG to explain it to you all directly. So we'll put that on our to-do list.
Well, see, I ain't got time. Whatever's going on, whatever money's involved, is money that the people in this town has paid for on their utility bill. When they started selling excess power on the open market, they were paid for that. And if that's the case, see, from my understanding, we are billed roughly $900,000 a month, between that and $1 million plus, for electricity. Has that $900,000 a month been reduced because of the profit? Because of the we'll move on. I'll talk about what is going to satisfy me in that when we get to it. Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say, let us know exactly what you want us to ask MEAG for, so that when they come or we get them on Zoom or ever how it happens, they can know in advance the kind of questions that you want to know, so they can be prepared to answer your questions at first. So if you let me know exactly what you want, we'll get with MEAG and get them set up.
In order to do that, Mr. Chairman, we're gonna have and because Miss Johnson has said that this stuff has not been audited. In order to do that, we're going to have an audit of all these items, from the credits to the closing of the MEAG account in 2019. We need an audited account of that, because I'm sitting here understanding that when the account was closed, the city of Albany got a check for $70 million. That's after they had used the MEAG monies, as according to an article in the Albany Herald, to fashion a new economic future for the city of Albany. Now, before MEAG comes this way, you understand what I'm saying? We need an independent. I don't want to use the auditors that you already got. Don't want to use their auditors. We need an independent audit group to show us exactly what has happened with all this money. You understand what I'm saying?
I understand, Mr. Crafter. Understand that I think I may be missing it, but our budget, everything is audited annually, and at this point, the audit hadn't gone point. I think that's what Ms. Johnson was saying at this point. But Mr. Crafter, let's say this. So, in light of what's going on, when we're done, let's get together on the things that we should have and put forth, so we can bring those things to you, so that it's understood, and we dot the I and we cross the T like it's supposed to be, if it's not to your flavor at this point.
Right. I understand that. And to that end, like I say, I don't discount the effort that the A team has made in putting this together. You see what I'm saying? But there are some unknown variables associated with the people's money, especially the money that's on account with MEAG, that is troubling to me. And the only way we're going to have a clear understanding of what it is we're going to have an audit of all the MEAG accounts, instead done by an independent agency, because when we're dealing with the people's money, you don't tell me what we got. And I was told that this was a lot of this stuff was unaudited. You don't tell me what you got. You show me through an audit, because money don't lie. You understand? Money can be tracked, and when you show me that track, and if the track is true, then we'll move forward. But if it's not,
Mr. Crafter,
whatever necessary arrangement.
Mr. Crafter, thank you. Mr. I don't mean to interrupt you, but you know I am. I'm sorry. But what the comment she made about being unaudited was she presented you all the August statement. Those are in-house statements that we prepared for you all. She wasn't saying, so that's what she was letting you know. That was just for the month of August based on what we do. And the auditors haven't looked at it. They come in at the end of the year and they audit the books for the entire year. So each month you will get a financial statement that will be labeled unaudited, but that just means it's our in-house books. The auditors, once they check it, they may change. So it's a little bit different than when you saying our funds are unaudited. She's just letting you know that's a report that she put together.
Once again, I will yield to the direction of the chairman.
In other words, you want to hear what I got to say, Mr. Crafter?
Let me finish. I will yield to the direction of the chairman, which if I understand, we'll get together and decide exactly what we need. And is that right? And proceed forward. Is that what you said?
That's correct.
Huh? So now,
correct. Go ahead.
So, and I can say, until it happens, anything you explain, Ms. Martha, is not necessarily not respected, but it's not what I asked for.
I just wanted to be clear when she said unaudited, that they didn't go out that our funds are unaudited. She meant that particular.
When the chairman gets done what he asked for, we will know all that. You ain't gotta ask no question. You gotta wonder about it. All right. Mr. Chairman, I yield back to you. Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Crafter. Ms. Martha, Ms. Kathy Johnson, always thank you for your good work. Ms. Martha.
Sure. Can I double check on something? I'm so sorry before we get off. I just want to make sure that everyone received 3 months worth of bank statements in their package. Good. Everybody's good. All right. And also with the Municipal Competitive Trust, everybody received statements from January 2019 to August of 2020.
Right.
Okay, Mr. Crafter, Mr. Alray, Ms. Rosemary, did you have that in your packet?
Yes.
Everybody got it?
Did these show the utility commission's investments?
Meaning, well, we're part of MEAG's portfolio, so they're all their funds.
No.
Okay.
The Fort Valley Utility Commission has been investing funds forever. And according to a document that was sent by Mr. Mims, all Fort Valley utility investments are in the MEAG account.
Right, that's all our reserve funds. We're in the MEAG.
Hey, what, like I said.
That's our investment.
If the investments in the utility commission funds are in on deposit at MEAG, what you telling me here does not reach $10 million.
That's
The
correct.
stuff that you showing me and all the figures you said, we ain't got $10-20 million on hand. You know what I'm saying?
That's absolutely correct. We do not.
But if we have not invested, if that's all we got, somebody ain't been doing their job. You saying? Because we got investments that has been made since the 70s. You saying? And wherever those investments are, that's what I'm talking about. It's not in your monthly, it's not in your annual in-house budget. If the money is at MEAG, that's our money. You saying? And I want to see not MEAG money. I want to see our money.
Okay, point of order, Ms. Crafter. Understanding that we said we get together on this, and like I say, I understand you go 1, 2, 3, not 3, 2, 1. I get that, and probably some of the things that have been tracked down over the years, probably some of the past general managers may have had a lot of understanding what was going on and where it went wrong, and we're uncovering a lot of things. But in our effort to get together to dot the I, cross the T, I understand if we put $5 over here and you've been holding, if you made $2 more, I want my $7. It's
right.
basically
At least see it. I want to see it.
Exactly. I understand that, Mr. Crafter.
I know you do.
Understand. So we're going to get to that point. We said we get together.
All right.
And we're gonna dot that I, cross that T. We're gonna circle it, take a picture of it, and we'll tape it together to make sure we're on the same
I
page.
understand that.
All right.
I want to apologize because this is no dig against the A-team or any employee, Ms. Johnson. You know what I'm saying? What I say is an excellent job the A-team did in putting this presentation together. And you need to be patted on the back for that. You know what I'm saying? So don't leave here thinking that I have an attitude of any kind about the work. Y'all did an excellent job. You know what I'm saying? I want you to leave this with that. But we will talk at another time about some other things. I yield back to the chairman.
All right, thank you, Mr. Kraft. I want to keep in mind the commissioners, everyone that's watching this, as I see the Utilities Commission and having been around, being new, but going to other places and seeing this, it's like we got a space shuttle right over here on Knoxville, and we got to keep that space shuttle fine-tuned with the best people to operate it. And that's what we need to do. And Mr. Crafter, yeah, we got to know how much fuel this thing is burning before we can keep it in the air. I got it, understand it. And thank you, Mr. Crafter, Ms. Rosemary. I'm gonna yield back to you, Ms. Johnson and Ms. Martha to run this, complete this briefing.
I think she's pretty much done with the finance part. We just, we just need to get on the same page about what you all expect, how you want it. We've been doing the reports a certain way. If we need to change something, just let us know. And then I think the MEAG part will, once they can get online and maybe explain that more in depth to you all, as far as where the money went for the last 100 years. I mean, all we can account for is what we have now. And if there's something else that you all want to do to try to track down some money that we don't know where it's at, and contrary to popular belief, I don't either. We just, we just have to work through that. We work with auditors every year. They audit the books. They come in. We have an independent audit. We've got clean audits. I know I know since the last 5 years, I think even prior to that, the commission has always done well with getting our audits done and having a clean audit and doing how they expect us to do it. But as far as accounts that we don't know about, we can't find, maybe somebody else can find it. So maybe doing the audits you all talking about doing might alleviate somebody's mind. Mr. Clay had problems. He had some internet problems where a transformer got disconnected. That's why we lost him for a minute, but he's back. So I'm gonna flip it back to the water and the wastewater slides and let him walk you all through what's going on water and wastewater.
Yeah, my internet's down. Can y'all hear me?
Wait a minute.
Yeah, we can hear you, Clay.
Wait just a minute. Am I taking Mr. Clay's report since we went on his last report?
Is Clay's the last report?
Right.
Yeah, here's the last. Yeah.
And wastewater, yes.
Yeah, here's the last report. The organization stuff that you asked for, Mr. Crafter.
Right. I got all that. We got all that.
Okay, so there, yes. When he finishes, that's it.
All right. To you, Mr. Please.
Okay, thank you. With our water system, right now we are poised to accept new business and can immediately increase production. We loop feed almost all customers and can maintain the system with one plant or well out of service. It doesn't matter what it is, the way we're loop fed. And our yearly plan is to expand new services and infrastructure based on an investment of $100,000 per year. Right now we are adding a line down Lakeview Road and down Sullivan Road, and we are doing that in-house. We do have an aging infrastructure and have long-term plans to mitigate problem areas. Our yearly plan to replace water mains, including investing $155,000 per year. Most of these lines are like 2-inch galvanized and do not allow for fire protection. So those lines are replaced with 6 or 8-inch mains and fire hydrants to give fire protection and also to loop the systems. We have many miles of the 2-inch galvanized that we're slowly trying to work out and get over. Our treatment plants are outdated. 2 of our treatment plants are outdated, and 1 of our elevated tanks is 95 years old. We have planned for replacement of each of these and are currently working on these plans. Anytime that we have capital requests for our projects, they are board reviewed for approval before we go on. Next slide. The high school project, the water side of it is completed now. Now they are still working on the treatment plant and well, the lift station, and that goes on the sewer side. Now the USDA project, we have a treatment plant and well going up by Friendship Circle, the tank, which will feed Fort Valley State University, and then the main extensions, which come from the Jones plant out to the new plant. That project right there will actually help replace the Jones plant.
Clay.
Yes, sir.
As another report, as you go along, will you identify what projects are being done in-house and what projects is being contracted?
All right, the high school project and the USDA project, those are being farmed out. They are not being done in-house. Now the line extensions we do in-house. As far as treatment plants or tanks, we don't do that type of work. And then with lines, it depends on the size of the line and how deep they are, on whether or not we try to do them in-house. But time constraints would not allow us to bid on that project. Next page. Now this Ventura Trailer Park and add fire protection, the Van Drive, Marion Drive, the Forsyth and the Snow Street, those are all projects that have the 2-inch galvanized lines that we would be putting the 6 or 8-inch line in and adding fire protection.
In-house or contract?
Now, some of these have not been determined yet when we're doing them. So a lot of these we could do in-house. These are the smaller size jobs where we're just putting a main in and adding fire hydrants, and that's something we can do just fine.
Now, you mentioned galvanized pipes, and probably you got some clay pipes out there somewhere.
We're on the water side of it right now, but there's some 2-inch galvanized pipe, and you can imagine we sure can't hook a fire hydrant to one of those.
Right. Plus, see, one of the problems that we have that's overlooked is the fact that the EPA says, and the health agency says, that at some point in time, the water system in this town was breached with poisons from wolf hawk and others. You know what I'm saying? And if you got all those galvanized pipes and whatnot, the water was sent through those pipes, and it's a possibility that lead and some of the other stuff might be in there. So, what I'm saying is that while you're doing this, you need to put together a comprehensive plan to replace those pipes all over town. You know what I'm saying?
We are doing that, and we do pH adjust our water so that the water is not corrosive, and we also add phosphate to coat the pipes to not have a lead problem. Because we do test for that, but we certainly are very aware of how that happens and how that can be prevented. And yes, all of our galvanized lines are on radar for being changed out.
So what I'm saying for future planning and future investment purposes, we need to have you can do it in phases. A plan where you propose to replace all that infrastructure over a period of time. So as some of these investments that we have mature, we can see how we can do that and go take care of it. So I'm saying,
we do have it laid out in a 7-year plan.
All right. Well, we'll talk more about that, but go ahead.
Okay, next slide. The other projects, we have the truck stop, which we would be bringing, well, that's actually a sewer. That's a sewer, and the Ira Hicks main replacement, we have a 12-inch main that needs to be replaced down Ira Hicks, which was $577,000 to change that out. Then we have the line extension for Buckeyes and Border Road, which that's for increasing pipe and getting more customers. Now, some of that we can do in-house. But they're not on schedule right now. And then the Plain Living back to 96 and Buckeye Road to tie in the big loop is an $800,000 project.
Question.
Yes.
Do we still have a truck stop?
It's right now it's in the city's hands, and we're waiting to see when it goes. That's a city project where we're actually paying for a lot of the work once it gets the approval through the city. Right.
What I'm saying, the commission has authority to act without the city, and one of the things that one of the duties is the ability to extend the system inside and out of the city. And since you want to do the school anyway, I think that if there is some recovery, let's get it back. But for economic development purposes, we have been waiting for 3-4 years on a truck stop. And the bottom line, we need to start as immediately for running those pipes, whatever infrastructure that not just the truck stop, but any development along the bypass corridor will need, so that, in other words, if we run the pipes or the infrastructure, hell, we might have a strip mall out there before the truck stop comes. You know what I'm saying? But if nothing is out there, we ain't gonna get nothing. So what I'm saying is we need to expedite or start immediately to run in that system, so we could tie in with the school and everything else, and be ready for whatever development comes that way, because it's coming. Make
Well,
sense?
And Mr. Pratt, from an economic development standpoint, the commission is ready. We got everything ready. We got the financing ready. We're just waiting on okay from the city to do that truck stop part. And the school, all that has been approved and it's run too.
We ain't got no.
It's my understanding that the bids are gonna be let sometime within the next week or so.
Hey,
Okay.
let me be clear. We don't have a truck stop we don't have a truck stop plan or program. It's our job to run the infrastructure, and the infrastructure of. As a matter of fact, it might be a good idea to run infrastructure all along the bypass. You understand what I'm saying? Because just as sure as we sit here, that development is going to take place there. And if you got the pipes and everything out there, all you got to do is hook up. So, as I say, I don't know what direction that the laying of those pipes is going to take, but if it does not encompass everything on the bypass that's in the city, then a plan for that needs to be developed and immediately undertaken. Because that's our responsibility as a commission, and based on trends, as the traffic grows on the bypass, the business development will come with it. We need to not have to wait on running open. If we'd done that in the beginning, we don't have a truck stop out there right now. See what I'm saying? So let's not wait on the next one. Let's run the infrastructure, which is our responsibility. And if some come, we're ready. And I'm through with that. Let's move on. But hey, that's something, Mr. Chairman. That's a personal opinion. And I'm gonna yield to you, and as it relates to our doing what is necessary to make that happen. In whatever form or format you deem necessary, we need to act as expedient on this matter.
I understand. That's part of the dot the I cross the T, and we're gonna circle it. We might even take a picture of that one.
Right.
Thank you, Mr. Clay. You can go ahead on with your next one, Mr. Clay.
Yeah, the well 6 and well 7, which are way out off of River Road, they are set up to set a treatment plant out there and have it be a direct injection plant, the way most things are going nowadays. And if we put a direct injection plant there and then a tank in the near vicinity, that's in the long-term plan to feed Fort Valley with the majority of the water. But as I say, right now, we have the capabilities of serving almost any industry that moves to town and to get the water to them basically immediately. Next slide. As far as our wastewater goes, the Lantern plant has had a feasibility study done, and I believe you've been sent that. It's a PowerPoint. It's 60 pages long, and it goes into great detail if we're going to get our wastewater above 2.2 million gallons a day. As it is right now, we are looking at trying to seal and stop infiltration in a lot of our lines. We're utilizing replacement lining and pipe bursting techniques depending on where and what materials is being renovated. Now, as far as the pipe bursting and the lining, we always hire that out because we do not have the equipment to do it. And then depending on the depth of the line and the size of the line, whether or not, and where the line's located, on whether or not we do it as far as replacing of the sewer lines. By cutting down on infiltration, we can increase our capacity between 20 and 40%. Long-term planning for the modernization of the Lantern facility has been studied and developed for the board consideration. We budget our trucks, our jetter equipment and replacements as the need arises with the 7-year plan. Now, as far as projects go, we have the Peach County High School, which that is most of the way done. And that has a lift station across the street from the high school, and that runs up behind Lane Packing. But Park Avenue rehab and replacing pipe, the next 5 items you see as far as Samuel Jones, Wander Lodge, Highway 96 and Church, and Doctor's Office line, those are some of our major areas that we have infiltration. We have pipes that are concrete and large and have eroded, and some of them are missing the bottom of them. And they are a high priority on getting done, and we're hoping to get those done within the next calendar year. Most of those projects we have already made plans to do. Next page. I didn't have much more laid out on there, but I'm certainly prepared for any questions about our system.
Any questions from any of the commissioners for Mr. Clay?
I know you said commissioners, but Clay, did you say the infiltration rate? You said it was 20 to 40. What'd you say?
I said we could increase what we are able to handle, because it would lower 20 to 40% of our flow is because of infiltration.
Wow. Okay.
And I know that's a wide range, but you know, if we have huge rains, we might have 3/4 of our water might be rainfall.
Gotcha. Okay.
And also the thicker it is and the better we can keep our bugs, the easier it is to process. It's always easier to process dirty water than washed out water, because you got to keep your bugs alive and healthy and feed them right.
Gotcha. Okay.
Is our other operations manager still on?
Are you talking about Mr. Baker?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I want to say, and this ain't no question, Clay. I want to say that you guys did an excellent job in briefing us on this. And like I say, without one or two tweaks, we're on the move, and you're good fellows. And we will make sure that we try to facilitate everything that you need to do your job. You see what I'm saying? At the chairman's discretion, we will deliberate on the stuff that you and Mr. Clay have brought before us, and we will pair that with whatever resources we got and whatever plans we need to make, and we can set those things in concrete, so you will know that you have the resources to go on and complete what you have to do. Understand? And not have to worry about whether or not you're gonna have enough to do this, that, and other. So, and like I say, as always, that's one man's opinion. It won't be confirmed until 2 other folk think that way. And I don't think nobody on this board wants to do anything that would inhibit the growth and prosperity of the city of Fort Valley.
Mr. Crafter, thanks so much. Commissioner Thompson, anything you'd like to say to our A-team and their presentation today?
I'd just like to say that in lieu of what Mr. Crafter said, Commissioner Crafter said, I honestly think that the whole everything that they did was very, very good. I enjoyed reading, not all of it, but the majority of it. And the presentations were extremely great. Thank you all. And as soon as we get some of the kinks out, we're gonna be going forward in a much, much better way.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Thompson. The mayor still on? Is she still in there? I guess she had to go to the other meeting. You say something, Ms. Crafton?
If I could, this has nothing to do with this. I'm concerned about who decided the amount of funds that will be available for aid with COVID during the COVID pandemic. I think there was $240,000 set aside for that. Who made that decision?
The commission made the
The
decision.
commission made the decision.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll deal with that. Let's say at a later date. And like I say, Ms. McPhee, the devil's advocate, as you call yourself, you did a hell of a job with this. And all your people, Ms. Johnson, a hell of a job with what you did as it relates to what you know how to do. And things are gonna get better from here because I think things will be clearer, clearly defined, and we can move in a progressive, productive way. With that, Mr. Chairman, thank you. And thank you all for making this available to us.
Thank you for the comments. Thank you for the comments, Mr. Crafton. 18, as always, Ms. Johnson, Ms. Kathy, keep us straight. You know, I have to circle him, put some tape on him or something. We can keep us straight, keep us viable. Mr. Clay, Jason, thank y'all for keeping us in point online. Brandy, Ms. Penny, hey, we might have to. The other fellow, we had to get it all straight. But I thank y'all in this briefing. I know it's a little early. We generally do this, beginning of the next year. But thank you for putting it all together for the new members and some of us who need to be brought up to speed. I thank y'all. Anything else anybody have to comment on?
And what that tape? What you say about the tape?
So when
you gonna put some tape where? Oh, okay, all right.
But
Hey,
I thank y'all, and we shall get together, the commissioners, on the things that we need to get further clarification on, Miss Kathy and Mr. Clay and Jason, so we can all be on the same page, same team. I believe in teamwork. I don't believe in the I thing, and it's not off to the left or to the right. We all do that. And Mr. Crafton, yes, I'm the ghost. I'm the sheepdog.
Hey, been on that, man.
I understand
I
that.
caught you a couple times.
I see you before you see. But I understand that. I thank everybody. Although we're having a good time here in this, I thank everybody. And at this time, it's 7 minutes to 4. Ms. Crafton, we're gonna deem this meeting over so you can get to Wagon Train.
Well, all right. Thank you.